Are you compelled by the star? This week we looked at Matthew chapter 2, and we were taking a glimpse into the lives of the wise men and their journey to see Jesus and the star that they followed. And we talked about how the star is Jesus, and it's the glory of God, it's the majesty of God that they saw that drew them to Jerusalem to bring gifts and all kinds of things. And so the reality that we have to look at is that the star compels us, but what does it compel us to? And I thought about two things that it compels us to. It compels us to discomfort and perseverance. These two things all the wise men experienced. One, we know that as wise men, they lived lavish lives most likely. Some of them may have even been kings. And so they left the comforts of their own homes and their own dwelling places to travel a long distance just to see Jesus. And two, they had to persevere. We see in the story that at some point in time, they didn't know where to go further. So they get into Jerusalem, and they're looking for where this king of the Jews is going to be born. And so they have to even ask. So they had to persevere and go and ask someone where to go from there. And no doubt they faced other challenges in their journey that they had to persevere through. And it's interesting because the Bible talks about the two greatest commandments is love God and love people. And then in 1 Corinthians, we see Paul describing love, and he says it bears all and it endures all. Or we could change that to say it experiences discomfort or uncomfortable situations, and it endures all, or it perseveres through all. And so my question to you is, how are we compelled to discomfort and perseverance? And two places I think that we can look that we need to persevere and we need to chase discomfort is in the workplace. So maybe it's a conversation with somebody at work that's going to be uncomfortable. It's a conversation that, maybe you've had in the past, or maybe they're really resistant to the gospel, or they're really resistant to anything Christ. And maybe God's just telling you to talk to them again. And that may be the area of perseverance that you need to show is to continue pushing. And I just want to encourage you, I was that person at work with a guy. I was the one that needed someone to persevere. And eventually, God led me to a Bible study through the perseverance of another, and I am where I am today because of that. And so I want to encourage you, persevere, and don't be afraid to step into the uncomfortable circumstances in conversations or at work. The other place is at home. Maybe we need to invite people into our home, or have a dinner party, or have a dinner and invite somebody that you may not normally invite over to your house. And it may get you a little uncomfortable. That may stir something in you and be like, oh, I don't know about that. That's just scary. Or I may be afraid of that. Or, it just seems uncomfortable. And I just want to encourage you to push through that. And just maybe that's what God's calling you to do this week in your home. Or maybe it's perseverance with your spouse. Maybe your relationship with your spouse is struggling, and God's calling you to persevere in that. And if Jesus is the star of the church, and Jesus is the star of our lives, and he compels us to discomfort, and he compels us to perseverance. And so in both of these areas, in work and at home, what does it look like for us to chase after discomfort and to chase after perseverance, just like the wise men? I think we all want to be wise men and wise women. And if this is what the star compelled them to do, I think it would be wise of us to do the same. So when we are confronted with the greatness of Jesus, it compels us to discomfort and perseverance. So together, let us get uncomfortable this week. Let us persevere this week because Jesus is worthy. Hey, if you want to check out our last Whiteboard Wednesday, click here. If you want to try to connect with us on social media, and we want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel right here.